Good morning students. In this lecture 28th of quantum mechanics, we will start our next chapter, that is chapter 5th and unit 2, and the name of the chapter is Simple Solutions of Schrodinger Equation. And in this chapter all the articles of the chapter are equally important. So first article is particle in one-dimensional box or particle in one-dimensional infinite potential well. And this article is also known as free particle inside the box. So what we have considered here is, consider a particle of mass m in a one-dimensional box of length L. Length is L of the box from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L. And at the walls of the box, the potential is infinite. So that is why it is just like a well, but well is made by these infinite potentials, so that is why it is known as infinite potential well. Now what are the conditions on the motion of the particle inside the box? The conditions are, the walls of the box or the potential well, they are non-penetrable, means this particle, it cannot penetrate the walls of this box. So this particle, it can move freely inside the box, but it cannot cross this potential barrier and it cannot come outside the box. So there is no chance of finding this particle outside the box. Why? Because the potential is infinite at the walls, means v approaches to infinity at x is equal to 0, v approaches to infinity at x is equal to L, and v approaches to infinity at x less than 0 and at x greater than L. In all this region and in all this region, v approaches to infinity. And because the potential inside the box is 0, because the particle is free, it means this particle, it is not interacting with any other particle. So its potential will be 0 inside the box. So the potential of the particle is 0. So that's why it cannot cross this infinite potential barrier. So the probability of finding the particle outside this box, means in this region and in this region, it is 0. So if probability of finding the particle outside the box is 0, therefore what will be the value of psi outside the box in these two regions? It will be 0. So psi approaches to 0 for x less than equal to 0 and for x greater than equal to L. Second assumption is, the walls of this box, they are rigid and elastic. What does it mean? It means when the particle, it will collide with the walls, then because of the rigid behavior or because of the walls, hard walls of the box, it will not lose any of its energy after suffering elastic collision with the wall. So it means the total energy of the particle, it remains constant. And last assumption is, as the particle is free, it means it will not interact with any other particle. So its potential energy V inside the box will be 0. So V inside the box is 0. So the potential V of the infinite potential well is given by, we know that inside the box, that is from x varies from 0 to L, the potential is 0 and the potential is infinite for x less than equal to 0 and for x greater than equal to L. Now we will see this whole system from the classical mechanics, from the point of view of classical mechanics. So classical view is that, what will be the energy of the body or energy of the particle inside the box according to classical mechanics? Classically, particle inside the box, it can have any energy from E is equal to 0 to E greater than 0. It means according to classical mechanics, this particle inside the box, it can be at rest also when its energy will be equal to 0. And when its energy it will be greater than 0, at that time it means that particle it will be moving along the x-axis from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L, and then after suffering collision, elastic collision with the walls of the box or the potential well, it will bounce back from the walls. So this is the classical view. Now we will discuss quantum mechanical view. That according to quantum mechanics, what are the conditions on the energy of the particle? What values of energy the particle can possess quantum mechanically? So according to quantum mechanics, what we will use, as the name of the chapter is Simple Solutions of Schrödinger Equation. It means in this quantum mechanical view, what we will do, we will find the solution of the Schrödinger equation. So we will use one-dimensional Schrödinger equation here. So the time-independent Schrödinger wave equation in one dimension, for what? For the wave function of a particle which is moving along a straight line, it is given by d square psi by dx square plus 2m by h cut square e minus v psi is equal to 0. We have derived this in the third chapter. So this is the time independent Schrödinger wave equation in one dimension. So now we know that for a particle inside the box, which is free particle, this V is 0. Suppose this as equation 1. We know that for a free particle inside the box, what we have, this V is equal to 0. So put this value in equation 1, and we will have 1 implies d square psi by dx square plus 2m by h cut square. V is 0, so here we have e psi, it is equal to 0. Suppose this as equation 2, and now suppose that this 2me by h cut square, it is equal to k square. Then our equation 2 will become d square psi by dx square plus k square psi, it is equal to 0. And suppose this as equation 3rd and this one is equation 4th. Now solve this equation. This is the second order differential equation. So you can solve this equation. You have to find the solution of this equation. How? You have studied this in your mathematics differential equations. So we know that, write its auxiliary equation. Its auxiliary equation will be d square plus k square, it is equal to 0, where this d is d by dx. Then this d square, it will be equal to minus k square. Then what is this d? It will be equal to plus minus square root of minus k square. Square root of k square is k, and this minus 1 is iota square. Plus minus square root of iota square k square. So it will be equal to d, it is equal to plus minus iota k. So what will be the solution of this equation? It will be the linear combination of this. How we will write the solution of this equation? So the solution of, therefore, the solution of equation fourth will be psi, because this equation it will give the value of psi, and we have this d is equal to plus minus iota k. So it means this psi it will be equal to a e raised to power plus iota kx plus b e raised to power minus iota kx. Now suppose this as equation fifth, and now we will apply the boundary conditions on this solution of Schrödinger equation, that is equation fifth, and we will find the exact expression of this psi for the particle which is moving inside the one-dimensional potential well. So we will apply boundary conditions now. So we will apply boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions here? Conditions satisfied by the value of psi. These are the boundary conditions, that at x is equal to 0 psi is 0, and at x is equal to L again psi is 0. So first we will apply first boundary condition, that at x is equal to 0 psi is equal to 0. Use this boundary condition in equation fifth. So use this boundary condition or apply this boundary condition to equation fifth. Then we have psi is equal to a e raised to power plus iota kx plus b e raised to power minus iota kx. Now psi is 0, a e raised to power plus iota k x is 0 plus b e raised to power minus iota k, this x is 0. So we have 0, it is equal to a e raised to power 0 will be 1 plus b e raised to power 0 is again 1. So we have a plus b equal to 0, which implies b is equal to minus a. So put this value of b is equal to minus a in equation fifth. Put b is equal to minus a in equation fifth. We get psi is equal to a e raised to power plus iota kx plus b is minus a, so minus a e raised to power minus iota kx. Now take a common from right hand side. So we have e raised to power plus iota kx minus e raised to power minus iota kx. Now multiply and divide this by 2 iota. Multiply and divide it by 2 iota. So this is equal to, this term it is equal to sin kx, e raised to power iota theta minus e raised to power minus iota theta by 2 iota, it is sin theta. So psi is equal to 2 iota a into sin theta is here kx, so sin kx, and this is the amplitude. So you can write this 2 iota a as some another, it will have some value, this 2 iota a. So suppose this is c. So we have psi is equal to c sin kx. So after applying the first boundary condition, that is at x is equal to 0, psi is 0, our equation fifth, it has changed to this equation. And suppose this equation as equation sixth. Now what we will do, we will apply second boundary condition to this equation 6th. And what is our second boundary condition? It is at x is equal to L, psi is 0. So now apply this second boundary condition to equation 6th, that is psi is equal to C sin kx. So after applying this, psi is 0 at x is equal to L. So it will be 0 by C sin kl, and this 0 by C will be 0. So this implies this sin kl, it is equal to 0. Now sin is 0 at 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi and so on. This implies the value of sin is 0 at sin n pi. Now both the sides will be equal if and only if the scale is equal to n pi. So this implies the scale, it is equal to n pi, where the value of n, it is 1, 2, 3 and so on. And from here you can find the value of this k. So from here this k comes out to be n pi by L. And suppose this is equation 7th, and from equation 3rd we have k square is equal to 2me by h cut square. So from equation 3rd, and here we have equation 7th, k is equal to n pi by L. Now squaring both sides of this equation 7th, squaring both sides, we will get k square, it is equal to n square pi square by L square. And suppose this as equation 8th. So now compare equation 8th and equation 3rd, because both are the equations of k square. Now comparing equation 3rd and equation 8th, we get both the values of k square, 2me by h cut square, it is equal to n square pi square by L square. So we are solving this quantum mechanical point of view to find the solution of Schrödinger wave equation. That is to find the value of psi, and from psi to find the value of energy. That according to quantum mechanics, what can be the values of energy of the particle which is moving inside the one-dimensional box. So energy comes out to be, according to quantum mechanics, it is n square pi square h cut square upon 2ml square. So this is the expression of energy. So as it depends upon n, whose value varies from 1, 2, 3 and so on, so we will write subscript n here. So this is the expression of energy according to quantum mechanics. Suppose this is our equation 9th. So from this equation 9th, it is clear that energy of the particle in one-dimensional box is quantized. It is not continuous, it is quantized, discrete values of energy. So when n will be 1, energy will be pi square h cut square by 2ml square. When n will be 2, then 3, 4 and so on. So from this equation 9th, it is clear that this energy En, it is directly proportional to n square, which is the quantum number, principal quantum number. It is inversely proportional to L square, which is the length of the box, and it is inversely proportional to the mass of the particle m. So this implies energy of the particle is, number 1, directly proportional directly proportional to square of the quantum number, square of the principal quantum number, second is energy of the particle inside the box. It is inversely proportional to the mass of the particle. And third one is that energy of the particle inside the box is inversely proportional to square of the length of the box. So next is energy level diagram. It comes under the same article. So we have derived that our energy En of the particle inside the one-dimensional box, it is n square pi square h cut square upon 2ml square. So put n is equal to 1, corresponding to this n is equal to 1, we will have E1 and it will be equal to pi square h cut square by 2ml square. And this is known as, this is the lowest value of energy that a particle will possess when it is moving inside the one-dimensional box, and it is known as 0 point energy. Lowest energy, it is known as 0 point energy or ground state energy. Then for n is equal to 2, for n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, 4 and so on, all those energies that will be greater than this value E1. So all those energies, they are known as excited state energies. So for n is equal to 2, this energy will be E2. This is first excited state. This is ground state. E2 is first excited state. So it will be 2 square is 4 pi square h cut square by 2ml square. This pi square h cut square by 2ml square, it is equal to E1. So it is 4E1, 4 times the energy of the ground state. Similarly, for n is equal to 3, E3 will be, this 3 square will be 9E1. Similarly, E4 will be 16E1. For n is equal to 4, E4 will be 16E1. So you can clearly see that energy of the particle inside the box, it is quantized and it is not continuous. Because there is gap between E1 and 4E1, then 4E1 and 9E1, 9E1 and 16E1, it means the energy values are discrete and so on. So implies, hence the energy eigenvalues, hence the energy eigenvalues of the particle which is moving inside one-dimensional box, they are quantized. As we have derived various energy levels and the difference between the adjacent energy levels, it is not equal. That's why the energy levels are not equally spaced. So these energy levels they are not equally spaced because the difference between them is not equal, and all these are known as allowed energy levels. So next is, what is 0 point energy of a particle in one-dimensional box? So we have derived the expression for energy eigenvalue. It is equal to n square pi square h cut square upon 2 ml square. And where this n, it varies from 1, 2, 3 and so on. Now if this n, if it is equal to 0, this implies that energy will also be equal to 0. And if energy is equal to 0, this implies that wave function corresponding to this energy, it is equal to 0. So wave function equal to 0 inside the box. So this implies wave function is 0 inside the box. And if the wave function is 0 inside the box, it means there is no particle inside the box. So this implies that there is no particle inside the box. So which is contradiction? Which is not true. Therefore, n cannot be equal to 0, because if this n is equal to 0, then energy corresponding to n0 will be 0, and corresponding to which wave function of the particle inside the box will be 0. And if wave function is 0, it means probability of finding the particle inside the box is 0. It means there is no particle inside the box, but that is not true. So this n, it cannot be equal to 0. Therefore, the minimum energy will correspond to is corresponding to n is equal to 1. So when you will decrease the temperature to 0 Kelvin, at that time the energy of the particle inside the box, it will not reduce to 0, but it will reduce to its minimum value, that is corresponding to n is equal to 1, that is pi square h cut square upon 2 ml square. So this is the 0 point energy. This is known as 0 point energy. So this is the minimum energy possessed by the particle inside the box when the temperature is reduced to 0 Kelvin. So according to quantum mechanics, even at 0 Kelvin, the minimum energy possessed by the particle, that is non-zero and is equal to pi square h cut square by 2 ml square. Next is, if in case the particle which you have taken inside the box, its mass is very large, or you can say that particle is heavy. Means if this m, it is large in case of heavy particle, and the length of the box, it approaches to infinity, again large, then in that case this energy, it will approach to 0. And if energy approaches to 0, and also if the length of the box is very large, then it will be like that there is no box. So particle, it will move inside that large box whose length approaches to infinity. The particle will move inside in such a large box in such a way that there is no box. And its energy, it will approach to 0. Means it will resemble the classical view. So if you take heavier particle inside the box, and the box whose length is very large, which approaches to infinity, at that time this energy, it will approach to 0. It means at that time it will resemble the classical view. And this 0 point energy, It is the minimum energy possessed by the particle at 0 Kelvin. It is quantum mechanical view, means it is different from classical view. Next, we will derive the linear momentum of the particle inside the box. So next is linear momentum of a particle. Linear momentum of a particle inside the box. And this box is one-dimensional. So, suppose the linear momentum of the particle of mass m, it is Pn in any energy level En, and its energy level is En. So, En is the energy of the particle in any level, and this is the linear momentum of the particle of mass m. So what is the relation between linear momentum and energy? We know that energy of the particle, it is Pn square by 2m. And we have already derived the expression for energy in case of one-dimensional box, that is n square pi square h cut square upon 2ml square. So this will be equal to Pn square by 2m. This 2m and 2m, it will be cancelled out. So we have Pn square, it is equal to n square pi square h cut square upon l square. And take square root on both sides, then we have linear momentum of the particle. It is equal to n pi h cut by l. So linear momentum of the particle. So linear momentum of a particle inside the box is directly proportional to the principal quantum number n and inversely proportional to the length of the box L. So linear momentum of particle inside one-dimensional box is directly proportional to principal quantum number, directly proportional to principal quantum number n, and inversely proportional to the length of the box. So we have derived the expression for linear momentum of the particle inside the one-dimensional box. Next is wave function. What is the wave function of the particle moving inside the box, one-dimensional box? And one more thing, as this Pn, it is directly proportional to n. So the values of n are 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. It means the values of momentum will be pi h cut by l, 2 pi h cut by l, 3 pi h cut by l. So the allowed values of momentum, they are discrete and quantized. So as this Pn, it depends upon n, whose value varies from 1, 2, 3 and so on. This implies that linear momentum of a particle inside the box is quantized. And it doesn't include any mass in its expression. Therefore, the linear momentum of the particle inside the box, it is independent of the mass of the particle. So next we will discuss wave function. From equation 6th, we have derived the expression for psi, that is c sine kx. And what is the value of k? We have find out the value of k. See, from equation 7th, we have derived the value of k is equal to n pi by l. So from equation 7th, put this value of k in the equation of wave function, that is in equation 6th. Put k is equal to n pi by l from equation 7th in above equation, and we get psi is equal to c sine n pi x by l. Now we have to normalize this wave function, and we know that to normalize any wave function we need to calculate the integral psi star psi dx. So for that, take its complex conjugate. Its complex conjugate will be given by psi star. It will be equal to c star sine n pi x by l. Now what will be the probability density? Probability density will be psi star psi. Psi star psi is the probability density, and it will be equal to c star c, which will be c square into sine square n pi x by l. Now according to the normalization condition, of a wave function, we have integration psi star psi dx, it is equal to 1. And what is the value of psi star psi? And this integral, it will vary. It is the variation of x, and x varies from 0 to L, because 0 to L is the length of the box. So this is 0 to L. Put the value of psi star psi, which is c square sine square n pi x by l dx, it is equal to 1. As c square is constant, so take it outside the integral. And inside the integral, what is this sine square theta? It will be 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2, and that 2, write it here, dx, it is equal to 1. Now perform the integration. Integration of 1 will be x, and integration of this cos theta, it will be sine theta. So here we have carried out integration of 1, that is x, integration of cos, it will be sine theta, and theta is here 2n pi x by l, so divided by its differentiation, so it will be 2n pi by l. Then these are the limits, lower limit, upper limit. Now put the limits. You will get c square by 2. Here x will be l minus 0 minus, put l here. When you will put this l here, this l and l, it will be cancelled out, and we will have this sine 2n pi here, and we know that sine 2n pi is 0. So when you will put this upper limit in this sine term, then it will be 0, and when you will put this 0 here, sine 0 is 0, so it is 0 minus 0, so it is equal to 1. So we have c square into l by 2, it is equal to 1, which implies c square is equal to 2 by l. So the value of c is root 2 by l. And put this value of c in equation 6th of the wave function, that is psi x is equal to c sine kx. So what is the value of C? Value of C is root 2 by L sine k is n pi by L into x. So this is the normalized wave function of a particle inside the one-dimensional box. So next, as we can see, this psi x, it also depends upon this n. So when this n will be 1, that will be psi 1x. When this n will be 2, that will be psi 2x, then psi 3x, psi 4x, and so on. So next we will write, after putting this n is equal to 1, this is eigenfunction psi 1. Then corresponding to n is equal to 2, we have eigenfunction psi 2 having energy eigenvalue E2. Similarly, for n is equal to 3, we will have energy eigenfunction psi 3 with energy eigenvalue E3 and so on. So now we will plot these eigenfunctions psi 1, psi 2, psi 3 because all these are the function of x. So we will plot these eigenfunctions with respect to x by taking these psi 1, psi 2, psi 3 along y-axis, and so now we will plot psi along y-axis and x along x-axis. So here we have x is equal to 0, and suppose this is the point where we have x is equal to capital L, which is the length of the box. So this will be our ground state psi 1, and suppose this is our excited state psi 2, and suppose here we will have psi 3. And we know that particle, it always exists or present inside the box, and at the walls, as the potential is infinite, so the probability of the particle at the walls is equal to 0. So that's why, and the probability of the particle at the center of the box will be maximum. So in case of psi 1, it will be like this. So here the amplitude is maximum at L, x is equal to L by 2. So how this psi 2 will vary with respect to L, with respect to x? Its variation will be like this. So in this case, the amplitude is maximum at x is equal to L by 2. It means in case of psi 1, when the particle is in ground states, the probability of finding the particle is maximum at the middle of the box. And in case of psi 2, the probability of finding the particle is maximum at this position and at this position. So this is x is equal to L by 4. This is x is equal to 3L by 4. And in case of psi 3, it will be like this. So the probability, it is maximum at L by 6. This is 0, this is L by 6, this is 2L by 6, 3L by 6. 3L by 6 means L by 2. This is 4L by 6, this is 5L by 6. So the probability of finding the particle will be maximum at L by 6, L by 2 and 5L by 6 in case of psi 3. So from here it is clear that the value of psi 3 with respect to x, it can be positive as well as it can be negative. But the probability density, which is the psi mod square, it is always positive. So the plot of probability density, that is psi mod square, with respect to x will be, here we will have psi 1 mod square, and here we will have, instead of this psi 2, we will have psi 2 mod square, and here we will have this psi 3 mod square. So at this wall x is equal to 0, and at this wall x is equal to L, because L is the length of the box. And this probability density, it is only a positive quantity, so it will be like this. So this is psi mods, variation of psi mod square with x. So this is the plot of psi x with x, and it can be positive as well as it can be negative. But this psi mod square, plot of psi mod square with x, it will always be positive. So according to quantum mechanics, the probability of finding the particle inside the box at different points is different. But according to classical mechanics, the probability at all the points inside the box is same. So you can write these lines here, that according to quantum mechanics, at the end of the article, write these lines, that according to quantum mechanics, the probability of finding the particle inside the box, it is different at different points. But according to the classical mechanics, the probability of finding the particle inside the box is same. So that is all about this article, one of the most important article of this chapter.